everybody, welcome back to another video on the channel with
me, Ollie. Yeah.
Ollie is here, my friend, and as you can tell by the title, we are going to be predicting the Premier League 20 to 21 season. Obviously, the transfer window is still happening. It's going to end soon, but nothing, I don't think any huge signings are going to happen after Havertz was announced finally the other night. So, we're going to get straight into it, starting off from the bottom all the way to the top. Who's going to win it? Who's going to get relegated? Who's going to get top 4? Let's get straight into it. Alright, so we're just going to start off saying our 3 teams who are going to get relegated. So, in my opinion, rock bottom, 20th place is going to be newly promoted West Bromwich Albion. They weren't actually that strong in the Championship last season. I can't see them competing too well in the Prem. They could do decent, but I can't see them doing it. Next up in 19th place is another newly promoted team. This time it is the London team, that is Fulham. I'd kind of like them to do a bit better. Maybe 14th could happen. But once again, they don't seem to be that strong. They're not bringing any new signings. Their team at the moment isn't strong enough, I don't think, to compete in the Premier anyway. They're often a team that goes up, down, up, down. And I think they'll go down once again in 19th place. And then, a final place, 18th, I am putting Crystal Palace, which is a bit of a controversial one. They recently signed Eze from QPR in the Championship, which could be a big signing. But I don't think they're too good to stay up once again. Ollie, what are your bottom 3?
So, my bottom 3 are very similar to Donovan's. So, bottom, I have West Brom. Obviously, same reasons as Donny. They've not brought in anywhere near good enough Premier League standard players. And also, up front, they are just relying on Charlie Austin, who is way past it. In 19th, I have put Fulham. It's almost the same team that got relegated to the Championship in rock bottom a few years ago, 2 years ago I think it was. So they haven't made many marquee signings, and I just don't think they will be good enough, and they're just going to go straight back down. And then finally, 18th, I've got Aston Villa. So a lot of Villa fans are like, we stayed up last year, why are we not going to stay up? Well, you haven't really signed anybody, as far as I can remember.
Yeah.
And if Jack Grealish goes, you're definitely going down. And you stayed up by a dodgy VAR decision. I think all the other teams are just too much stronger than you.
Moving on to 17th place, I have got newly promoted Leeds. I think they'll just about stay in the Premier League once again. They are a fairly strong side. Obviously, they came first. It wasn't by loads, but they came first nonetheless. Yeah, I think they can stay up, but they're not going to stay up by that much. They're not making any marquee signings once again. And I just can't see it, really. None of these teams have much to them. They don't bring much to the table. And, yeah, I think they're not going to do too well. So, Leeds is 17th for me. Do you want to do your 17th?
So, my 17th is Palace. So, I think Wilfred Zaha will stay. There have been no rumours of him leaving. And unlike every other year, there's always, oh, he might go to Dortmund. He might go to Everton. There's none of that this year, which almost confirms that he will stay. And with that, they do have guaranteed goals and assists. Also, with Christian Benteke up front, they are going to struggle. But Jordan Ayew?
Yeah.
It's not Andre Ayew. Yeah, Jordan Ayew has been very good. He's been very key to their success. And although they're on a bad run of form, I think Roy Hodgson will have sat them down and said, look, we need more our confidence back. And overall, I think, although he might not be tactically the best, I think he can get the best out of Zaha.
Next up in 16th place, I have put Villa. This could be a big mistake from me. At the end of the season, again, we might look back and do it on point, see who gets the most predictions right. But in 16th, I put Aston Villa. I don't know if they'll stay up or not, to be honest. The only reason I put them so maybe high up for what they used to is because they seem to be really trying. Obviously, they've got John Terry, they've got really influential people in the club who can bring it to them. They've been linked with Romeu, they've been linked with Callum Wilson. They may not get them, they probably won't. But it just shows that maybe there's something in them that could do it. They did make a new signing recently. I can't quite remember who. I think it was Matty Cash they signed from Nottingham Forest. So, yeah, they're bringing people in, and it could well not be enough. I'll probably regret this, but I'm putting Villa 16th.
16th, I've put West Ham. I think Mikel Antonio will start to slow down. He has been very good. He did score 4 goals against Norwich, but
Crazy.
I think as he gets older, I mean, Jamie Vardy has shown that pace, he doesn't get any slower when he's getting older, so I could be wrong, but I just feel like, especially if Declan Rice goes, they'll lose their engine in the midfield. I think they'll stay up comfortably, but I I think they will push it, but a good run of form at the end of the season will hopefully save them.
Okay, fair enough. I could see that as well. But in my 15th place, I have put Brighton. They're quite a meh team. Nobody really hates them. But once again, they don't seem to be bringing anyone in. They're not letting anyone go. They've got, they signed a 5-year contract with Lewis Dunk, who's a great leader for them, who I know can keep them up really, just like Jack Grealish did for Villa. I think they're a fairly average team. A very 15th spot seems quite likely for them. They don't have any signings, but they've got Lewis Dunk, which I think can carry them through.
That's very interesting, because I've also put Brighton 15th. So yeah, I mean, same reasons as Donny. The only departure I think they've had is Shane Duffy. The Ireland captain has gone off to Celtic on loan. But apart from that, they're just a bit of a meh team. Graham Potter will keep them playing nice football. It might not get them anywhere, but I think they will stay up comfortably. And Trossard and Gross, attacking-wise, should be good enough to score them a few goals.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, moving on to 14th place, moving up the table now, and I do have Newcastle. Once again, a fairly average team, a bit more solid. Obviously, Newcastle away isn't always the easiest place. I remember Chelsea lost to them last season, which was a bit painful in the last minute. I think we lost to them, but they're a solid team. Obviously, they don't have much to them. They've got certain players that can do well for them, I suppose. Can't think of many at the top of my head. I think they're a fairly 14th team. They're not going to go down. They're not going to get top 10. I think 14th is about right for them, but I don't actually have too many reasons why.
I mean, I promise this isn't rigged, but I've also put Newcastle in 14th.
Oh!
So, same really. I think Maximan is very good, but
yes.
to challenge finishing more than 14th, they do need another striker. You should put the dinner lady up front. They'd be much better than Joe Linton. I think it's 3 league goals this season, and think that's terrible.
Yeah.
And 5 goals in all competitions, 2 of them against Oxford in League One. It's not good enough.
It's not. Okay, fair enough. Good reasoning for my 13th place. Now, I do have Burnley. It's such an
taking the
average
mick,
team.
isn't it?
Yeah, wait, do you have them?
Yeah, I've got Burnley in 13th as well.
I don't think we need to explain it too much unless you have some solid reasoning. I mean, just a very meh team. They are fairly solid, but...
Yeah, in my opinion, they're just a new Stoke, just staying there. Brutal football, coached by a manager who doesn't really want to go there, go any higher. And as soon as they sack Sean Dyche, then...
Yeah. There isn't much ambition at the club,
down.
but at the same time, they're not losing as many matches.
The defence is very secure, I think, but the problem is with Phil Barnsley, he's not getting any younger at fullback, Matthew Lowton as well, so against the better teams with quick wingers, I think they will struggle, and Pope is a very good goalkeeper.
Nice. Okay, moving on to the top 12. I do have, who Ollie said much earlier in the video, I do have West Ham. I'm not too sure why I'm saying this, but at the same time, I can't believe that they were so close to relegation last season. With the money they actually have, the stadium they're in, the team that they really are, they should be getting top 12, really. And I think they do have the ability to as well. They've been linked to players like Said Benrahma from Brentford. That would be a huge signing for them. Maybe a new Dimitri Payet. They need a player like that to carry them. Like Ollie said, Mikel Antonio is not getting any younger either. But I think he could be enough to get the few goals, to get maybe he could carry 10 points to West Ham themselves. So... you never know. I'm not too sure about West Ham, but I think they could get 12th.
In my, is it 12th?
Yep.
I put Leeds. I think
Leeds,
Marcel
jeez.
Bielsa is an excellent coach. Although he hasn't won much, I think he has such a strong side that there's no way they're going to be fighting a relegation battle. The only improvement I'd say is Patrick Bamford is nowhere near. He showed it at Crystal Palace. He is not a Premier League striker. He is a Championship striker. And also, I've heard he's not a very nice person, so...
Oh, wow.
But apart from that, I can't see anything wrong with Leeds. I think they'll do just fine in the Premier League.
Fair enough. You're kind of making me regret my decision about Leeds coming, 18th or 17th? But, okay, fair enough. Next up, we do have, I think it's 11th now. And my 11th and 10th spot are very close. It doesn't really matter, though. I have put Southampton there. I think Danny Ings is enough to get them through this. They're not getting relegated for quite a few years. Even though there's not a huge amount of ambition, they could want to get top 8. They could push for it. I doubt it. A solid team. They're not bringing in many signings. They're not letting too many people go. They might make 1 or 2, but nothing too instrumental. So I think 11th is about right for them.
I mean, so do I. I think 11th for Southampton as well. That's what I've put.
Wow.
I mean, same reason as Donny. It's just a bang average team. Danny Ings' goals will save them easily, and Ralph Hasenhüttl has showed that the team does have fight after that 9-0 beating against Leicester. You think they would just get relegated and not get any points after that, but no, they've kept going, and you've really got to credit them for that.
Sure. Okay, then moving on to the top 10. Now, I have put Sheffield United. This is a team I'd like them to get do very further. Last season, there was a point where it looked like they could even get Champions League top 5 with Man City not getting it. But this season, they've just been kind of going downhill. Obviously, they got 3-0 against Chelsea, but other than that, they haven't shown too much in them. They drew pre-season. Obviously, it's pre-season, but they only got a 2-2 draw against Preston. They were playing their full team. They just don't seem to have as much ambition as they did last season. Chris Wilder's a very solid manager for a solid team, but I can't see them getting too much higher.
I'd put Leicester.
Leicester?
I think if you look at the beginning of the season, they might be without James Maddison, Ricardo Pereira. They obviously sold Ben Chilwell.
Yep.
And those are very key players. Jamie Vardy, I love him as a person, but a great player. His meteoric rise is amazing. The European road will pay its toll on them. They will really, really struggle, in my opinion.
Moving to the top half of the table now, in 9th place, I've put Wolves, which they could get much higher. Once again, this could be a crazy controversial decision, but after last season, they're an average team, really. They're a bit more than that, but I can't see too much strive. They've got the players like Ruben Neves. They've got Raul Jimenez. I just can't see them getting too much higher than 9th place.
I've put Sheffield in 9th. Very similar to Donny. They're just they're a very good team. I'd like them to see them do better, but I just think they've done really well. Chris Wilder has done really well, but the calibre of the teams above them,
yeah,
they were punching above their weight for so long. So their fullbacks, especially Enda Stevens, are very good. I really like Enda Stevens.
Okay, cool. Fair enough then. Moving on to 8th place. This is where I have put Leicester. I think, basically the same as Ollie, but I think they do have enough in them. They've got the main players. They've got James Maddison. They've got Jamie Vardy, who, even though he's pretty old, it's Jamie Vardy, and they've still got Iniacho. Obviously, it's not huge names, but it's kind of enough to make their little performances grow big for them. Obviously, the calibre of players, the calibre of team above them are much higher, but I think Leicester could well get the top 8 spot.
In 8th and 7th, I'm actually going to quickly change them because...
Okay.
So originally I had Everton, but I think... so I already thought... But also, they've been linked with Alan, and they've already signed, I'm pretty sure.
Alan was confirmed earlier today.
Oh, was he? I didn't know that. And James Rodriguez as well, so...
2 huge signings.
That will vastly improve their midfield, and with Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I think they will do very well. So I'm actually putting them in 7th, and in 8th I've got Wolves. So I think their season has gone on for 13 months. They've only just finished playing. There's no way they will be able to keep up.
There's only so much they've got in them.
You have world-class players, which I think will scrape them into the top 8, but still.
Okay, cool. In my 7th place, I've put Everton. Like you, once again, huge signings. James Rodriguez going back to Carlo Ancelotti. Crazy. Alan, he's a solid player, and I think he should do quite well for Everton. Everton are a very top 12 mid-table team, but this season, they always say it's their season, but I could see it happening, so same reasons as Ollie. Everton are going to get 7th, and now we move on to the top 6, where I have put Tottenham in the 6th spot. They have the players like Harry Kane. They have the players who, if they don't get injured, can really do quite well for them. Hugo Lloris was a blow for them at the start of last season to lose.
I mean, Gazaniga did do well though. He wasn't as good as Lloris, but
he was quite solid for them. Yeah, obviously with Emil Hojberg as well. All these new signings. Well, there's not many.
Doherty.
Yeah, Matt Doherty. It could be Bergwijn's season as well. Heung-min Son. They should really be getting top 6, but I don't know how far up. So I'm putting them just on the edge of it. Although they could get higher.
Because I'm going for the North London rivalry, Arsenal.
Okay.
I just, although they've got Gabriel, I just don't think their defence will be good enough.
Yeah, nah.
And Leno is very good as a goalkeeper. I rate him. Bellerin also half decent.
Linked to PSG though.
Yeah, but
it's just how much can Aubameyang do for them?
And everybody's like, oh, but Arsenal fans, we've won 2 trophies really recently. It's the FA Cup against Chelsea. Community Shield.
Okay, there we go. In my 5th place, that is where I have put the North London rivalry of Arsenal. Kind of same reasons as him. They don't have any huge players for them other than Aubameyang. Aubameyang's a very good striker, one of the best in the league, but Aubameyang isn't enough to get Champions League, I'm afraid. I think it's going to be a couple more years before they do get Champions League. Yeah, that's my 5th place.
In 5th place, I've put Spurs, so pretty much very similar to Sonny.
Okay.
I just think it could be close. I think they will run it very close with my next pick in for 4th. And I think Mourinho could do it, but I think he will go and win either the EFL Cup or the FA Cup or the Europa League this season. I have no doubt that he will win one of them. They will focus more on the cup competitions once top 4 grows a bit, gets a bit further away.
Okay, top 4, crunch time. This is where I have put the red side of Manchester in Manchester United. I think there's a solid team. They're a very good team. Bruno Fernandes can only score so many penalties for them. They've got Greenwood, they've got Martial, they've got Rashford, they've got Dean Henderson, who I think could be huge for them, unless they play De Gea, which I think would be kind of crazy. I reckon they should offload De Gea, keep Dean Henderson. Their defence is solid, midfield's solid, attack is kind of very good. Yeah, top 4 for them.
I'd put Man United top 4th as well. The fact that Bruno Fernandes scored 14, but this was only in half a season.
Yeah.
This means he's winning the Golden Boot on just penalties.
Yeah.
And also, I've seen the crazy stat. He scored 87 goals in his career. 74 were penalties. I mean, yes, he's a brilliant player.
And he gets lots of assists, but, you know. In 3rd place, I did have Chelsea, but I'm changing it now. In 3rd place, I'm putting Liverpool. Ever since Atletico, they've had awful results. V Watford, v West Ham, they were bad. Knocked out by Chelsea in the FA Cup. Pre-season, they couldn't beat Salzburg. They couldn't beat Arsenal. They've been really struggling. They're just definitely not a 99-point team that they were last season. They've been going downhill. And unless Jurgen Klopp can do something really quite special with the team they've got at the moment, they should really be winning trophies when they've got Mo Salah, Sadio Mane, all these players. But they're not making any signings. They might sign Thiago, but I didn't think that's quite enough for them. I think Liverpool are not the team they were last season, and they won't be for a few years. I'm not sure about it, but I'm putting them 3rd.
I've put Chelsea 3rd, and you see, I am also a Chelsea fan. I'd love to see them go challenge for the title, and I think with a goalkeeper, it is all possible. I just think it's Chelsea in 3rd. We've made some very, very good signings. If Pulisic plays like he did after lockdown, right,
one of the best wings in the league if he can continue this. Okay then, Chelsea in 3rd for you. Chelsea is in 2nd for me. I was thinking 3rd. 3rd's probably the more realistic one, but I'm a Chelsea fan, and I genuinely think with Ziyech, with Werner, with Havertz, with Chilwell, with all these players, we're going to get a new goalkeeper. You know, you think, it's going to take time. They're from the Bundesliga, they're from the Eredivisie, and that's true. But just as we saw against Brighton, I'll play it on the screen right now. You can see this amazing ball from Ziyech to Hudson-Odoi, down to Werner, and you can already see the link up in just 5 minutes of play. I feel it's a shame because players like Hudson-Odoi, players like Mason Mount, players like Tammy Abraham, players like Billy Gilmore, who we were basically trusting at the beginning of the season, who got us top 4, top 3. Tammy Abraham got most goal scorer. They just can't get game time with the signings we're making. Top 2 isn't too unrealistic, which I'm very happy to say.
I mean, I've put Liverpool.
Okay.
As I was saying, that I think Jurgen Klopp will do something. I think he will do something too little, too late for the title.
Cheeky kind of Diet Coke. Let's get straight into it with our final first position. I think it's obvious. We both put Manchester City now. That is the only team left.
Whoa.
What?
I put #United.
#United are in the FA Cup.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, first place, Man City. They've got too much money. They've got Pep Guardiola. They aren't playing amazing. They got knocked out to Lille. But at the same time, they're Manchester City. I don't think it will be Liverpool. And if it's not Liverpool, who else? Man City.
I mean, yeah, it's very, very easy for them to establish a lead over a sluggish Liverpool side. And by the time Jurgen Klopp does something about it, it'll be too little, too late. Maybe, 10 points ahead. There's no catching up from that against a good City side.
Okay, well, I couldn't agree any more with you, Mr. Ollie. Thanks very much for being in the video.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, you're welcome. And if you want to see it, we'll do a reacting to it at the end of the season. See who gets the most right. I wonder. I think it's going to be me.
Obviously, because it's what you think's going to happen.
Okay, well, thanks for watching. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.